Swallowed Star 530 Whirlpool Core. Chapter 530 Whirlpool Core. Hua hua. The aura there was as thick as fresh blood. The large whirlpool even emitted an ancient eternal energy. It made one's very soul tremble. Come on, child. Come. Come here. Enjoy killing and slaughter. What a beautiful and endless feeling. A formless enticement accompanied the killing aura willpower. That strong willpower was like tanks clashing against Luo Feng's willpower. As he was affected, the enticement began. A bronze-armored Luo Feng drew closer and closer towards the center, which was completely engulfed in the aura, gritting his teeth to endure. Mine, it's mine. I want to kill. I know how to kill. All external willpower break. Break. Luo Feng's willpower was extremely solid, as it was defending against these attacks and enticement, not allowing any of them to seep in. As he gradually drew closer to the core, the willpower and enticement got stronger and stronger. The closer he flew to the sun like Red Ball, the more cautious he got. Distance of 50m, 40m, 30m, 20m, 10m. The red ball was right ahead. It was the core of the huge aura whirlpool. Rumble. A formless ancient energy radiated, causing Luo Feng to feel as though he was an ant against a godly dragon. Even if I am an ant, I'm an ant that can defeat a godly dragon. Luo Feng immediately abandoned the natural sense of fear within, simultaneously stepping into the glaring red light that formed the aura whirlpool that was bigger even than Earth. The entire whirlpool core returned to its original calm state, and the bronze silhouette disappeared. Aura whirlpool core, within the red light ball. Luo Feng slowly progressed, however he felt the killing aura willpower actually diminish. It's almost as though as I get closer to the ball, the willpower is strongest. After entering the ball, it gets weaker instead. He flew at a speed that was even slower than a normal person's walk. After about 30m, before him was still the thick red ball. Chi! Luo Feng's entire being pierced through the outer layer of the red light ball, looking at the scene before him. Ong mo da. A sound that pierced through his soul, resounding deep in his consciousness. An ancient phonogram without any rules, every note infused with high endless amount of ancient energy. Simultaneously, Luo Feng was shocked at the scene before him. It was empty within the red light ball. There wasn't any red energy within. There were, however, huge, golden engravings as thick as one's arms. Every one of them was incredibly complex. There were a total of 12, 100-to-1, 000m long golden engravings, interweaving and revolving in the space. Each one made one's heart tremble, making one submit. Such energy was being emitted from the 12 thick engravings. Simultaneously, the 12 huge golden engravings emitted golden light threads, engulfing the entire region. The gold light revolved about, making the space around them like a sacred land. The revolving gold light continued to produce 3 images. A picture of the huge lizard beast, raising its horn towards the skies, a huge hand smashing down towards it, causing the beast to fly, waving its long tail until it almost vanished and dispersing the huge palm. 3 ancient pictures. These were the 3 ancient pictures he often saw. However, at this point, at the core of the whirlpool, the 12 huge golden engravings emitted the naturally formed pictures much clearer than before. Every picture occasionally appeared and then dispersed. These 3 ancient pictures were floating just like a piece of paper on water, continuously revolving, occasionally sinking to the bottom of the water before resurfacing, repeating over and over. Li. Ong. The ancient phonogram, almost like a beast without intelligence speaking, seemed to pass through trillions of years of time and space, resounding in Luo Feng's ears. My God! Luo Feng stared wide. Origin Law's engravings. These are Origin Law engravings. Never had he ever seen the Origin Laws that clearly before him. Whether it was Primal Chaos City or the engravings on the spirit weapons, they were all extremely small and simple. And the 12 incomparably huge engravings before him, that were as thick as one's arms, seemed like 12 simple engravings. However, every one of them was interweaved with countless needle-like engravings through them. These are Space Origin Law engravings. At least, they are a part of it. Luo Feng's eyes gleamed, following which he landed where the 3 ancient pictures disappeared. This time, it was different from the blurry images that he spotted before. He saw them extremely clear this time. This was even to the point where as the beast attacked, he could feel every bit of it clearly. I'll first remember these pictures, and then study the origin law engravings. Luo Feng began to stare hard at the 3 pictures of tearing sky first claw. With his quantum computer-like brain, he could remember vividly each of them like a video recording. This was very simple. However, he needed to remember the feeling and situation too. That energy infused with profoundness and mystery to allow him to study it in the future. Studying tearing sky first claw for close to 80 years, he clearly remembered the picture of that move from long ago. And at this time, whether it was studying the original tearing sky first claw or altering it according to the memories he had of it before, Luo Feng was very clear that before he became undying, his level of the first claw paled in comparison to that ancient beast's. Hence it wasn't the time for him to be proud, but to lower his ego and study that ancient beast well. As he used his entire being to remember the ancient picture of the first claw, Luo Feng didn't realize, as his body was there, the gold lights shot right through him. Even though there wasn't any killing aura that invaded him, his every cell within began to change and evolve greatly. If one said that under the killing aura's attack, the body's cells would change gently and slowly. At this time, it was accelerated 100 to 1,000 times.
The only thing was because Luo Feng was completely immersed in remembering the first claw. As for the changes in his body, even if his body was destroyed, it would be a small matter. Hence he couldn't allow himself to be distracted. After remembering the first claw for some time, as he closed his eyes, the image of that first claw clearly replayed in his mind. He finally exclaimed, "My comprehension still isn't high enough. This should be my memory's limit. I'm unable to remember the situation and feeling and energy any deeper." Following which he looked at the other 2 pictures. Compared to the first claw, spending 80% of his attention on it, for the other 2 techniques, Luo Feng had spent little time on them. As his comprehension was weak, even after trying hard to remember them, not long after he couldn't remember them any better already. Within his memory, the 3 ancient pictures were deeply recorded. The first claw's situation and feeling was the most vast and ancient. As for the other 2, those 2 faintly had the ancient energies but obviously weaker than the first. The main thing was that Luo Feng was unable to remember them deeply as well. I finally remembered them. Luo Feng revealed a look of excitement. These ancient pictures humans are unable to study. However, it's extremely beneficial to the golden horned beast. Studying it raises its understanding and comprehension of the laws, that in turn helps my human body's comprehension as well. The 3 great bodies were working together. Naturally the improvement was huge. My body. As his attention returned, Luo Feng quickly realized the changes to his body. His body's every cell seemed to have evolved. Change occurred continuously. This change, it's the same change as the killing aura. Luo Feng was shocked, revealing a look of glee after. However, the change seems to be 1,000 times faster. One day here is akin to a few years outside. Luo Feng was ecstatic. He stood up in mid-air, looking at the 12 huge golden engravings. These 12 engravings seemed simple, however they were still much more profound than the engravings that True Yen Emperor demonstrated in his classes in Primal Chaos City. Luo Feng looked for a while, feeling dizzy within. It feels like space? With some bits of gold origin laws. However, upon careful examination, it's neither. Luo Feng was very curious. The origin law engravings his teacher True Yen demonstrated occasionally had hundreds to 1,000 engravings. Luo Feng knew quite a bit of them. However, at this time, he didn't understand this at all. The level of complexity is simply beyond me. Luo Feng spent 2 days looking at the huge golden engravings. Suddenly he had some inspiration. Looks like my comprehension of the laws, compared to the profoundness of these huge golden engravings, is simply too huge. Just like when I first looked at the 9 universe tablets' 7th to 9th pictures, I didn't understand them at all. These golden engravings, I can't understand these either. No matter how expensive a book is, before a blind person it was still useless. Infused with endless wonders, the engravings within weren't useful at all to Luo Feng. He couldn't even remember the energies emitted from it, simply relying on his quantum computer like brain and consciousness, forcing out a simple picture within. Just like taking a picture. Days passed. Even within this aura whirlpool core, with the gold light shining on him, Luo Feng's body evolution speed slowed as the days passed. This was something he anticipated as it was reaching his body's limit. My earth body, if only it could be as sick as the golden horned beast's body. Even without any aura invasion, immediately absorbing 97 crystals. Luo Feng thought. 97 crystals. That was the achievement of close to 80 years. These 80 years, the origin law's comprehension and mental state training had risen shockingly, hence allowing him to make it deep into the whirlpool core. As for the golden horned beast's right claw, these 80 years had occasionally evolved further, currently having absorbed 97 blood river crystals. After a while, the changes that occurred deep in Luo Feng's body finally completely stopped. I'm already at my limit. Luo Feng thought. I've been in this whirlpool core for close to 30 days. If it were outside, it would at least be 100 years before my body is fully saturated. Who knows if I can absorb the third crystal now? I'll return to the cave to try. Looking at the 12 huge golden engravings floating in mid-air, he turned and rushed through the red light layer, swiftly heading back towards the outer layer of the whirlpool.